Guess what time it is, people? Game of the year time.
Game of the fucking year.
Portal 2.
Fucking year.
You know, Portal 2 was a pretty goddamn good game.
That was a very good
I
game.
can't disagree with that, really.
Okay, now that I got that out of my system.
You still haven't passed that around.
No.
We were passing around
That's a
earlier.
bad
That's-
idea.
that's a bad
We've all
idea.
been drinking
That will-
scotch and beer. Nothing
will
about that's
end
gonna.
that will end the Portal 2 gun, yeah.
This is like if it's a video game, that's the bad ending you can
Yeah.
pick.
That's yeah.
It's a tequila ending.
If I drop it, it's one thing. If somebody else drops it, there will be blood. Alright, let's kill the music. Okay, yeah, you see what it says in the subtitle below. We are back. We are at the very, we are at the. I don't even
Mostly
know what to
end.
say, but yeah, it's closing time here on the Crashcast. If you guys can fucking believe it, we're at the game.
This show is from tits to ass. We're at the ass now.
Yes, exactly. It's Game of the Year time,
Good place
final
to be.
reflections, games you missed, and 2013 predictions. So let's start with Game of the Year right now. Who wants to take it? Who wants to be the first?
Boris, go.
Sure, I might
As
as
the
well.
chat fills up to
honestly,
900,000.
Yeah.
Just, the winner, Skyward Sword.
Okay, nice.
Like
It's not
just as an
Catherine?
overall package, as a good feeling game. As if I were to look through this list and pick one to go back to that I've completed, it might be that one.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have a runner up?
Portal 2.
Portal 2 is a fucking great game.
It was a great
It is
game.
a very
Great
good
game.
game.
It's a great game.
Next.
I'm going to go last, so...
I'll go.
I'll go next to last.
All right, I'm going to say... Nice.
That's not sketchy at all.
Should I go start doing Sean style? Or I do my honorable mentions first or anything like that? No, I'm gonna go from top. Over my game of the year, absolutely XCOM, motherfucking Enemy Unknown. That game is amazing. It absolutely took me over. I love talking about it. I love like the war stories. I love the stories that appeared in my brain as I played it. It was amazing. And my runners up are Hotline Miami. Not a surprise there. Spec Ops, which is a surprise.
Nice.
Dishonored, which is still fantastic. I haven't talked as much about it this time. And then I also and Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing game.
Far
Absolutely.
Cry 3 is an amazing game.
So that's mine.
Yes.
All right. For me, it's got to be my baby.
Minecraft.
Spelunky HD.
Sorry.
I actually didn't play all that much Minecraft this year, but I did play a lot of Spelunky, and it's awesome. And it's my game of the year.
I could go through an entire list of runners up. This was a really strong year, but my game of the year is PlanetSide 2.
Wow.
And
nice.
reason being my game is PlanetSide 2 is I had a titanically shitty year.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I found that at a certain point I wasn't playing games to enjoy them anymore. I was playing them to not think about bad shit.
Yeah.
And I just started devouring them. For those who don't know, I was away from the show for about 8-9 months or whatever. I lost my mother to cancer in May after a 6-month illness. And what happens is while she was sick, I didn't play any games. After she passed, I didn't play anything for a little while. And then I just started devouring games. But I wasn't enjoying myself. I was just like, yes, I'll do this. I'll buy this. I'll just play this and not think about anything. PlanetSide 2, when that game came around and I started playing it, it's the first game in almost a year I enjoyed. And for that is my game of the year.
Sure.
Nice.
And I always say this, gaming is personal. If someone were to turn around and say to me, Silent Hill Downpour is my game of the year, that's fair. I actually would not sit there and argue with them because it's a personal medium.
Yep.
I guess that's why I always get so annoyed when fanboys have fights over games because you're trying to dictate opinions. And that never works. So PlanetSide 2...
You wouldn't be able to keep from feeling less of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have to go on record and say this because this has never happened before, and it's kind of funny. I haven't answered my mom and I are very close. I haven't answered any of her calls this cast because we've been casting for so long.
Wah, wah.
She just sent me a text.
Yeah.
The apartment
She's
looks
telling you-
good. Try to stop yawning. I'm not watching anymore. P.S. So she's
Nice.
never watched the cast, and I hope to
Nice.
God she never watches it
Yeah.
again. So that's fun. All right, that's not my game of the year, however.
Watching casts.
Watching our cast,
Yes.
yeah. All right, so I am actually going to run down all the ones because I was struggling with this for fucking like days. What I was going to put on here, I've swapped out my overall game of the year maybe 10 times.
Good sign.
Runners up, in no particular order: Hotline Miami, FTL, XCOM, PlanetSide 2, Journey, Dust, Mark of the Ninja, Borderlands 2, Fez, Trials Evolution, Mass Effect 3. There's probably one that I missed, but honestly, the gold ring goes to fucking Guild Wars 2.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's
Okay.
unbelievable. ArenaNet. It's not just the fact that they released an amazing game. It's the fact that a year and a half before this game came out, they made lists, like bullet points, of everything they were going to try to succeed in doing with this game and fix and try to change with regards to MMOs, quest lines, roles in groups, and all this stuff. And, you know, they didn't succeed in everything, but I'd say like 90% of it, they did it.
Nice.
And this game did not get enough recognition this year, and it is fantastic. It is a fantastic, fantastic game. I have enjoyed my time with it thoroughly. PlanetSide 2 is the only thing I would consider as a runner-up, and I can't give it to it because it's still a game that's finding its way. Like it's not done. And I'm not saying even Guild Wars 2, they're still finding their way. But man, that game has been polished.
I think if there's
Through
one
and
thing
through.
I take away from this year, it's that between Guild Wars 2, PlanetSide 2, XCOM, all these games, these are things that when I was growing up as a teenager, these were dream games.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine we'd be at a point where we could be doing this stuff. I said, it would be awesome if we could do that. We'll never do that. We're doing it, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Guild Wars 2 just blew my mind this year, and I've really enjoyed it. And I have not spent enough time with it, but of all the games I played, and even the games that I've just started, I keep going back in my mind. I'm like, as I'm playing Guild Wars 2 in the beta, and even when it was released, I was just like, this game is just doing stuff that I haven't seen in an MMO before, and it's doing it really well, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't feel like I'm forcing myself through it.
No matter what type of gamer you were this year, there was something for you.
Absolutely.
You like huge FPSs, you have PlanetSide 2. You like obscure point-and-click games, there's a ton of that in the indie realm for you right now. You like roguelikes, here's FTL, here's Dungeons of Dreadbore. There's so much, no matter what your tastes are, there was something for you.
Yeah.
This is the first year I've been doing Game Crashers where I feel like I'm behind on games.
Oh, yeah. I'm way
where I
behind.
cannot keep up with
Oh,
how
I am
many
totally
good
there.
games
I
there
actually
are.
kept up this year.
And I was very good with it last year and the year before. And this year, there are games, and we'll get to it because I have a whole section here, games I didn't get to. In fact, we should mention those right now if anybody else
Can I give a shout out in the
Yes.
the chat?
Yes.
Chusik is apparently in Moscow. Zdravstvuyte, friend.
Let's actually do that right now. Games we didn't get to this year.
Oh, did you do
Did you do
Game of the Year?
I do my game of the
Did
year.
we all done
Yeah,
with the
I
Game
think
of the
we
Year?
all did it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's our game of the year. We're going to do our closing sections here now.
All right, awesome.
Games we didn't get to. I'm just going to start this one right off.
Go for it.
because
Go for it.
I've got a ton. Xenoblade Chronicles. I am so sorry. I have a Wii sitting right there, and I bought it for this game, and I haven't fired it up yet. Syndicate. I know that there are people who don't like that game. I still wanted to try it. Spelunky.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hitman Absolution. Oh, I have it. I bought it. Retro City Rampage. Now, there's a game that
Ooh.
nobody mentioned.
yeah.
this
Oh,
year.
yeah, right.
Binary Domain, another game nobody mentioned this year on this show. That is a travesty because I hear nothing but good things about that game. Quantum Conundrum. Talk about a game nobody
Talk about a
gave
game that
fuck
disappeared.
about. Nobody
yeah, no
played
shit.
that. It's from the Portal developer. Nobody cared about Quantum Conundrum.
Yep.
It's got fucking Q in it.
I know. Also, by the way, Chusik, I don't know. I'm sorry, man, if I pronounced that wrong. It's possible. Anyway, go on.
Lego Lord of the Rings. That game looks
Oh,
so
yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's the reason he did that is because he traveled everywhere this year.
I went to Moscow. I was in Moscow this summer. It's a fun city. Cool stuff. Go on.
That's it. I'm done. I'm sure there's more that I missed. Oh, I didn't get to Darksiders 2. I didn't get to.
Oh yeah, Darksiders. Yeah.
I didn't get to play. It was probably another one that I'm missing. But there's just so many games this year. Like,
Yep.
the games that I bought and I have not played on my Steam list, and that's just crazy. Anybody else?
This year,
Yeah.
actually, I did a pretty good job. Like most years, I'm kind of in Boris's shoes, where I'm just like, I want to talk about things from last year. I think actually I did a fairly good job of hitting most of the games I really, really was looking forward to, and like the games I feel like I really would have liked. Like I don't think there's too many games that I've missed that were like that are, oh man, that is the one I should have been playing and I didn't. Definitely, Walking Dead. I would like to play Syndicate at some point because I like first-person shooters and it's pretty short. I mean, at some point I need to finish Mass Effect 1 and then Mass Effect 2 so I can play Mass Effect 3. Same story. At some point I need to finish Assassin's Creed 2 and then Brotherhood so I can play Assassin's Creed 3. But other than that, I don't really know. I mean, I've played.
I mean, I'm in the same position. I managed to at least touch on most of the games I wanted to play this year. What I find myself behind the 8 ball on is shit from last year. Like, I'm still sitting there staring at Deus Ex Human Revolution being like, when am I going to get to dive into you? I hear nothing but thing about Raiders. Someone in the chat is going nuts about Raiders.
What is
which
Raiders?
It's an MMO.
Oh, okay.
Free to play MMO. I have a beta invite sitting on my desk. Haven't touched it yet. There's just a lot. I mean, I didn't even play Portal 2 till a few months ago. I didn't even get to finish that off. There's so many things that I'm just behind the ball on. Hitman Absolution.
Wait, you haven't finished Portal?
No, I finally finished it.
Oh, okay,
Hitman
yeah.
Absolution. I played maybe 10 minutes. I don't know if that would even count as something I missed, but I got past the tutorial mission. That counts. I haven't gotten nearly into The Walking Dead as much as I want to. There's things on PlayStation Network that as a new PS3 owner I haven't gotten to touch yet that I can't wait to start getting into. But like I said, as much as I said that there's something for people of all tastes right now, if you're someone like me who has a taste for all, it's very difficult.
That's true.
There's very few game genres I will turn down. Maybe like
Agreed.
the cock kicking simulation for the Kinect, the self-defense game. I'd probably pass on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
that's about it though.
That's really the toughest thing is that if you like every game, you can't. They made a Persona 4 fighting game that was good.
Persona,
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is with this year?
I'm really having to find myself just like, and I hate doing this because I would like to be more well-rounded, but there's a certain point where it's kind of like, I'm probably not gonna absolutely adore that game, so I probably shouldn't try it. But like, I feel dumb.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's
Also,
such
like Tristram
Yes.
noted, and like this is from last year, but yeah, Deus Ex Human Revolution, never finished that. I didn't actually ever finish Skyrim, and I really fucking should do that.
No one finishes.
Skyrim. Skyrim is the single player MMO.
Skyrim gives up on you.
I should at least finish the main plot. Maybe,
Probably.
No,
maybe
you-
should.
I hear, but that's the
probably
funniest thing.
shouldn't.
I hear that's the most unsatisfying part of that game. It's
yeah.
everything else is the most. It's
Well,
like,
I didn't do too much of it.
because the game finishes and it's like this game doesn't finish. Skyrim
I don't feel
doesn't
bad. I
end.
did actually finish the main plot to Morrowind and Oblivion after playing like 200 hours of Morrowind. I finally finished it, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the same sort of lists. I mean, Dishonored, Sleeping Dogs. I have Skyrim on the shelf. I have Dead Space. So, like my list
Dead
goes
Space too.
from recent to way back.
of course. I mean, I've been talking
Like
about
Binary Domain.
Fallout
Like
3.
hell, I want to go back and play Luigi's Mansion. Like I have a long line of stuff.
At what
that
point I
just haven't
started
put
playing
down
Super
to.
Metroid. I mean,
Yeah, there
we're
you
gonna
go.
go far back. I mean,
I think
Sorcery. Like there are a bunch of things that I want to get my hands on.
I think the takeaway from that is that, when all of us started doing this, the industry was very small. So the roster of games you have to go back
That's
and hit
true.
was very small.
That's
With
true.
each
You have to keep
generation that passes, that's another backlog.
I mean,
and then another backlog.
you could spend
and then another backlog.
your whole year on Newgrounds.
You could
Like,
spend the
playing
rest.
a new game
you could
every
spend
day.
no games could come out after today, and I would still have shit to play the rest of my
All
life.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're never gonna be like.
Just
I'm
from
so
going
tired.
back into previous generations, classics I never hit up.
Speaking of things I want retired, I want to retire the term backlog because I am never going to clear that thing. That is like debt I am never going to pay off.
Oh, by the way,
It's never gonna happen.
this year I finally reorganized my Steam list and I've created a category saying, literally the words are, admit it, you're never going to play. It's giant.
That's
that category
wonderful.
is huge.
That's fantastic.
Any
Yeah.
particularly
Yeah.
notable entries in there?
I'm right through
Splunky.
Rage into there.
Yeah.
I think Fallout 3 is in there.
Oh,
Like I have to admit it to myself.
Yeah, I have Fallout
Yeah.
3 on my shelf and haven't gotten
Yeah.
to it yet.
Yeah, it's
I have a lot I haven't played this year. We got the big ones: Dishonored, Journey. I didn't play. Dear Esther. I didn't play. Persona 4 Arena. I really want to play. FTL. I really want to start playing Daisy. And then Don't Starve, I got super excited about. I want to start getting
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah.
Super Hexagon.
well that
Various other like tiny
that
indie
takes
games.
30 seconds to play.
I know. But like getting into like there's a lot of like the top indie games this year. I don't know a lot of them. I haven't played a whole bunch. 30 Flights of Loving came up a
Yeah, that's
lot.
true, that's true.
Like I have to get that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have a
That
I've-
looks, yeah, somebody gifted that to me. I need to play that.
I have quite a
and the
backlist,
games that
yeah.
are gifted to like play on cast, I'm like, fuck, when am I going to get to these? Like, when am I going to play 30 Days of Love?
Still waiting for you to
30
stream.
Flights
Yeah.
of Loving. Like,
Still waiting for you to stream Dungeons of Dreadmore, motherfucker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently 30 Days of Loving takes literally like 30
30
minutes.
Is 30 Flights of Loving?
30
30 Flights of Loving.
Apparently,
It's a 15
I think
minutes.
like
It's a 15
15
minute
minutes.
game.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really should just sit. I could fucking do that.
Have you played Gravity Bone?
I
You should
literally
play
need to
that
do a
first.
cast of
I
games that
think
people
I
have gifted me.
did.
That's the thing. Get
Free.
for the thing.
And it's also like 20, 30 minutes.
All those unfinished games are dead to you.
And that's it for Game of the Year?
I think that's it for Game of the Year, and I think we have one last thing to do.
Predictions?
2013 predictions.
So a prediction is just games we're gonna enjoy, or like
Just a prediction.
For
Just
like, yeah, predictions for,
Nostradamus
yeah,
for the
exactly.
year
Like
2013.
New consoles.
looking into your crystal ball and going like, I think this.
I have two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. One of them is probably not very likely, but so everyone's a lot of investors are freaking out because COD Blops 2 looks like it might not sell as much as Modern Warfare 3, and this will be the first time there's been a little bit of a drop off. That drop off will be bigger next year for
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 4.
Well, yeah,
I think the Call of Duty generation is starting to move on, which will cause
Yeah.
a bit of an
Yeah.
earthquake at Activision because Call of Duty is 47% of Activision's profits.
Holy shit, are you
47% of
serious?
Activision's
Oh, yeah.
net
The other,
worth
the other
is
half,
Call of
the other
Duty.
half is World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yep.
But my big prediction, though,
yeah.
is everyone is freaking out right now over the new consoles from Microsoft and Sony
Right.
having patents to institute technology to block secondhand games. That is not happening.
No.
That is not. That is
Not if
I
we're
am,
dealing
I
with the
am-
retail world.
I
No.
am 99.9% sure that is not happening.
No. That is.
Yeah, more than likely they're taking those patents so that they can control when people do that.
I think, Boris. I think they're taking it more for the control of of Blu-ray
Yeah.
movies.
Well, didn't they already say that Blu-ray's coming to the next Xbox?
Yes, Blu-ray's coming to the next Xbox.
That's a
Yay.
big
Alright.
fucking
Yeah.
wow. Like, you know, not only did they fuck up the HD DVD, but now that now that they're fucking go, oh yeah, Blu-ray, we love it, bring it on. That's
Yeah.
just such a big.
But
like,
I think I think
Sony should just ride that puppy all the way home every day and say, hey, Microsoft, how you liking our format?
I think that patent, though, I think Boris is right on that it's there for when they want to do it or to control that technology.
Yeah.
But I think it's also going to factor into trying to control the piracy of Blu-rays.
Probably. Yeah.
But I don't think it's for secondhand games. That's a suicide note. If they do that, literally,
Yeah.
if Sony's sitting there and Microsoft does it, all Sony has to say is, we're not doing that. PS4 kicks the Xbox's ass.
And what if
no
you're-
one,
Exactly.
no
And
one's
dude-
going to blink first on that.
What
no
if your
one
games-
will blink first there.
What if you're GameStop? You're not going to fuck over your number one retailer.
No,
That was
you're
our
probably not.
conversation before.
Well, it
you're
depends.
Not gonna
If
do
you're
it.
if you're actually doing a large digital media base, then you don't really care about GameStop.
But GameStop is looking for any reason not to become completely fucking useless.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
They
exactly.
don't have the digital infrastructure to be something on those consoles. And frankly, Sony and Microsoft don't want them there. They don't want a fucking digital download
I
store
don't
from
think-
GameStop gated on
I
their
think this is going to be.
consoles.
I don't
That's-
think this
exactly.
technology is ever going to come to pass because I think this is the last console generation with 100% physical media. I think the console
man.
generation.
It's-
it's
I think the
definitely
console.
possible.
What's that, Boris?
Oh yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah,
possible.
it's getting closer.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and not because of Steam or PC or anything like that. Because of Apple. the App
Yep.
Store
Yep.
and all that, Steam is not big enough, make enough waves. The entire planet, like the entire technology sector in all of it is looking at Apple and its App Store and going, whoa.
And let's
money.
Yeah, and let's not forget, say what you will. Like, if we had done the stupid news this year, OnLive going bankrupt was one of the most what the fuck stories of the year, considering they were the fucking industry darling for a year and a half, almost two. And Gaikai got bought by Sony, who was interested in acquiring OnLive, which is essentially the same technology.
Yep. Huge.
For the most part. So that's going to be incorporated somewhere down the line. That is not something that's going to go away. It's going to be that's a thing. That's fucking.
The
Wow.
one thing that's going to stop the digital download from being as popular as it is would be the size of the game and the bandwidth of the common internet connection. Because like if Google Fiber sweeps through and suddenly we have 100 megabit
Good point.
up download speeds, then you're going to be able to have that as a much more viable means of getting the games to the people.
Good point.
God of War 3 was 34
otherwise it ends up being
gigabytes.
these, like multi-hour down. If my download takes longer than me going out to the store and buying the game, then it's not a viable system.
Good point. Good point.
Street Fighter 4 on the PS3 is 24. I only have an 80 gig drive on my PS3. It's like, fuck you,
It's
I ain't loading that.
18.8 for the Super Arcade Edition.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Keep in mind,
those all
Skyrim
take
is
a-
5.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's so weird.
Yeah, how big was Max Payne?
Max Payne was 24. Oh, Secret World is a 36 gig install.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know what's
And
pretty
Skyrim
good?
is 5.
Skyrim is
Jules
5.
pretty good.
Boris, predictions?
Well, the easy ones are that we'll probably have at least one next gen console, if not both. But at the very least, we'll have all the information of what to expect.
Yes, and E3.
That's a pretty easy one.
Do you have a one with balls?
I have one with balls.
I'm gonna. Sorry, are you?
No. I'm thinking. So you go.
Okay, I'm gonna make. This is. I think 2013 is gonna be the year of delays. I think every game that we're gonna want is gonna be delayed because of the way that stuff's falling out this year with the console cycle, with the PC and the new consoles. They're gonna try to get everything out on every console, and I think we're gonna see Dark Souls 2, Watch Dogs. I bet you even BioShock Infinite gets delayed again. I say BioShock Infinite doesn't come out till the end of the year.
You think so?
I think so.
Huh.
I think that they have gone silent on that game. I think they are
Because they opened pre-orders very recently.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it comes out, but I just feel I'm worried. I'm very worried about BioShock Infinite. I'm really worried about that
Because
game.
I can see them delaying it maybe a little bit more, but then having a port
Not the whole
for the
year.
next. I don't think they're going to delay the whole. Because literally with pre-orders alone on the 360, I think they got almost like 500,000
If
already.
it's not end of the
They're
year-
not going to tell 500,000 people to go fuck themselves.
If it's not end of the year, it's going to be fall. It's going to be fall. I
Yeah.
think. But I think we're going to see lots of delays across the board.
Yeah.
I also think this is going to be a year of games coming out really fucking in bad shape.
Really busted.
Really busted between the new consoles, PC,
Oh, yeah.
Wii U, and who the fuck cares? It's just going to be like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry not to. I got a
QA
prediction.
departments
Not to-
QA departments across the West Coast are just it's crying, bawling tears because it's going to be fucking painful.
I have one other prediction that I forgot
Yeah.
to mention, and this is probably going to be wrong, but Elder Scrolls Online and Blade and Soul
Oh god.
will
Yeah.
be the last two subscription MMOs ever.
You just basically took the words out of my
Nice.
mouth. I was
Yep.
saying, yeah,
Yep.
MMOs with Guild Wars 2 existing.
And all the free-to-play stuff, even more.
With
Yeah.
with the failure of the Old Republic.
I think that's going to put the fear of God into way too many. Even Blade and Soul, they're saying like, oh yeah, we're going to
Hell's
bring it
Blade and
over.
Soul?
Blade and Soul is a subscription-based MMO from Korea or something, to South Korea or something that's coming over.
Dude, you forgot about Warhammer Online.
Is Warhammer Online subscription?
No, it's free-to-play, isn't it?
I believe
I
it's
cannot
It went-
see
it went- it went
any
free-to-play, it went free-to-play.
way.
Did it? Is it? But it hasn't come out yet.
I'm saying
Oh
upcoming.
no! Oh no! Sorry. Haha. Skyrim Online.
That's what I said.
yeah,
That's what you're
Elder
saying.
Scrolls.
Elder
Which
Scrolls
one?
Online.
Elder
Elder
Scrolls
Scrolls Online.
Online.
Oh, you did say that.
Elder
Is
Scrolls
that-
Online,
is that
Blade and Soul are
subscription-based
both
right now?
Yes.
hitting the market as
It's a WoW.
subscription based.
It's a WoW game.
Yeah.
Those are the last two ever. You have seen the end. The ones that are the holdouts, your WoWs. I think Tira is still holding on to subscription right now. Eve's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But the holdouts are going to stay holdouts. But in terms of new ones hitting the market, the subscription's gone.
Whatever Blizzard is cooking up, it's not going to be WoW 2. It's not going to be They're not. They got to find some fun because WoW is holding on. What are you going to do after Mists of Pandaria, which I think is one of the most underwhelming things titles released this year. Yeah, but dude, they thought. Okay, let me tell you something. That game's been out since 2004, and people thought the Pandarian expansion pack was coming out like years ago. Oh, okay. They held on to that for one reason, because it would keep people coming back. Yeah. And now they got nothing. Like that game is so.
I've got a prediction. Don't know actually entirely this is what's going to happen, but I think a pretty major developer is going to announce that they're going to go iOS only, or maybe iOS and PC.
Possibly, yeah.
I was actually initially, they won't do almost for second thought Epic. Now Epic won't, because their engine is so widely available, but someone like that, like I could see them just.
See, I'm with you, but I say it's going to be like double fine.
Yeah, well, yes. Oh, I think that's even more possible. I was thinking
they already have gone iOS, haven't they?
They've gone iOS. Yeah. They've come back to the PC. I haven't heard too much about console plans for them.
But I would say someone even bigger than them.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Like a heavy hitter. Like Crytek. When Crytek announced they were going like free to play only, on the PC only, which is a big fucking deal, by the way.
Something along the lines of that, yes.
Yeah.
What do we all think about the Steam box?
Actually, that's what I was about to get into.
I'm sorry, Boris. I don't mean to steal your thunder, Boris.
No, that's fine. No, I think the Steam box, being something that comes along, is going to cause an upset at the very least at the console point of sale, essentially.
Right.
Because you're seeing this very different price structure happening between Steam and the consoles, and it's either going to get forced back of one of two directions. Either you're not going to see Steam sales in the same way that you had before, because they're going to have to match the console sales a little bit closer, or you're going to see a good amount of unrest in the console sales because the prices are going to be a lot more for the same person to pay the same money for a much smaller library of games.
And I think the Steam box is going to be priced aggressively.
What was that?
I think the Steam box, I think Valve is going to price that aggressively.
Oh, sure.
Threateningly aggressively.
But it's going to cause a very prominent conversation, and it's like the console people, anybody who's predominantly console, is going to be immune to this conversation for at least a little while, until it just reaches kind of a tipping point where they just, and I don't think this is going to be over the next year. I think this is going to be like a 3-year thing.
Sure, that makes sense.
Where the tides have to shift, and awareness has to shift, and it all depends on how well Valve pushes the awareness of the box, how much they're able to take the marketing space that would have gone to Xbox or PlayStation.
I mean, say what you will, but I think Valve is the most important company in gaming in 2013.
Yeah.
Like,
possibly.
They got things by the balls right now, and
really interesting.
Well, I think Microsoft and Valve are going to go to blows in this next coming year, because I don't know what the fuck is going on with Steam on Windows 8 and what Windows 8 is going to do to fuck up everything that's going on with Steam.
Good point.
Because once again, Windows is trying to do this thing where they're not happy with what they got. They need to make everything proprietary to them, and I feel like they want to lock Steam out. I've said this before. Their main goal is to make themselves Steam on their platforms.
No, they want to be iOS. They want to be the iOS.
Exactly. They want to be Apple.
And they view Steam as competition to that. Yeah. They don't want to sell you Watch Dogs. They want to sell you Hello Kitty Touch Adventure 7.
You said it correctly.
Yeah,
and they want to sell you millions of those and rake in that free-to-play money.
But I feel like if they knock Steam off Windows, if they knock Steam off their operating system, people who use Steam all the time and have invested a shitload of money into Steam will flock to wherever
Steam
goes.
is. That's where I'm going.
I'm telling you. This could be
Linux.
the thing that finally makes Linux a thing. I
have a lot of doubts of
I will
Linux
never bet on
being
Linux.
able to do that, but if there's one motherfucker who can do that, that's Gabe
Newell.
That's Gabe.
Well, again,
I hear you.
if
I
it
will
becomes
never bet
the
on Linux.
company's prerogative to have a platform and that platform's going to be Linux, I mean, freaking Valve's going to pay for it themselves
Yeah.
to make that work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, what do you guys think about the trend of moving as games as a service, where instead of like buying your games, you
We're
would
gonna see a lot
buy
more of
the-
that.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna see
a lot
more of
less,
that.
and I hate it all.
Like the, or excuse me,
Yeah.
PS
I'll
Plus,
say this:
like-
I don't have a blanket hatred of it.
That's true.
I think there's a
typically.
balance. I don't want to see that become the dominant form of gaming, but the fact that it exists doesn't bother
I
me.
think
I think the
that-
balance is going to go the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think
not
we're going to be
entirely-
seeing more Diablo 3s.
Oh, I hope not.
SimCity.
I think.
It's always on.
Now, what do you think is more likely?
Well, that's
then,
not the
also?
word. That's
What's
not,
that? Wait,
there's
what's
no-
that?
there's
Games
Boris
that
a
are
lot
built
of
around
options.
you
Boris Star, what's
spending
up?
more
I'm
money.
trying to get in here.
Like you were saying that this is probably going to be the last generation of a physical media console.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we go into something else next time. Like, what do you think the likelihood of that next time being a service rather than a per purchase download?
Good point.
I think. Well, I think this is all. This is all. This, I think this all comes down to the. In terms of what you're talking about, this is more of a PC thing, right? Or are you talking about something like that
No,
coming to the
consoles.
consoles? I don't think. I don't
From
think
what
it's
I
a,
understand, that there has been talk of a Microsoft-like service that you can buy what's essentially like a layaway console, like a Microsoft. You
Yeah.
could buy their console dirt
Oh,
cheap
yeah,
and
right.
make payments over time, and that becomes that includes your Xbox Live and the cost of the console. And then you have to buy games on top of that, obviously. But like to expand that out to allow the price of the console, the Xbox Live, and the games on itself.
It's always
Like, it's
going to
not a
come
very
down
far step.
to. It's always going to come down to convenience. And what I mean by that is people will accept something of a lesser quality if it is cheaper. Not even cheaper in the short run and more convenient. I mean, you look at not to get all crazy here, but MP3s. MP3s sound undeniably, when you buy them at iTunes, worse than what you're going to get on a CD. There is
Yes.
compression there. Why do people buy them in droves? Because they
Convenience.
don't have to get up, and the way they see it, it's only $1 a song. But then they buy another, and then another, and then another, and then another. So if they handle it like that, I think you'll see it take off.
The
If
same
they do it the
way-
Microsoft way, I think it falls on its face.
Well, that's exactly also the Apple way. Is like all those games in the App Store.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think you have games like The Walking
Night, Trist.
Yeah, good night, Tristram. I think you have games like The Walking Dead where if you're paying for episodic content, it's like the only time the
Right.
episodic content has ever been done correctly.
Right.
Like, there's something to be said about that model. It's not sustainable. There are a lot of games that can't do that. I think the issue
they will.
becomes when are you selling games that are like moment to moment.
Well, think
like,
about the whole season pass thing too. They were trying to go on
right.
that too.
But I mean, I guess what I'm going towards is not necessarily even the season pass or that. It's the difference between is every game going to be something like a PlanetSide or a Guild Wars 2 where it's not a story-driven thing, it's just a service towards a gameplay mode that's selling it to you over and over again. I don't think you can sustain that for story-driven games. I don't think you can do it. And I think there are people who will always want to make story-driven games, and that's always going to lead to the predominant model, which is the pay once and play it. The only thing I will say is that games have cost the same amount of money, and the cost of the games have gone up, and the dollar has gone down.
Yes.
Now, these are forces that cannot be inverse for the rest of time. It will become unsustainable for people to make games at the cost that it is now with the economic situation that's going on
I
with
agree.
games.
I would just...
And if people were going to pay more for games, which they're not going to do because you even discussed the idea of paying more, and people are like, yeah, but 65 is already a lot of money. Not when games cost millions and millions and millions of dollars. They've had to package in junk.
$50.
They've had to
They cost
package
$50
in junk that I
20 years
own
ago.
on my wall in order to get people to pay more for games. And I know when I'm buying those collector's editions. I mean, look, you can see, well, you guys can't see it on stream, but you know, I bought the Guild Wars 2 collector's edition. I bought the Halo Reach collector's edition. I bought the Borderlands 2
He has
collector's
dolls
edition.
on his wall.
That's the only
So what you're saying is you're the problem.
yeah, well, I'm saying it's the only way companies have found out.
Well, the
for
other way.
com-
The other,
I will
people to
say
get
this,
more
though,
money.
as
the
a-
other way. The other way is selling endings in DLC.
I will say this though,
How dare you.
as a palate cleanser from that.
Yes.
Yes, the cost has gone up.
Yes.
But sales numbers are different. Call of Duty 2 sold like 1.1 million. COD Blops 2 will sell a motherfucking bajillion.
Like
Yeah.
20 or something?
The numbers, there are more people in the game now. Now, I'm not saying the prices of games shouldn't go up. They probably should.
Right.
But this
and it hurts to say that.
You know what? I'd be fine if they
does,
got shorter myself, actually.
What's that?
I'd be fine if they got shorter rather than more expensive.
Yeah.
Nah, that's true.
I guess, but when you say that, I think the slippery slope is I don't want everything to be Space Team. Space Team is fun. I don't want everything to be
Yeah,
Space Team.
$60.
I still like a good Dragon Age style. You know,
And
I
that
don't
will
think
cost more.
that will cost more.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm fine with that.
You know what?
If they want to come out and they want to say
They
that's
should start doing more of just breaking the price monopoly, the price
exactly.
single price. Like everything must be $60 or $15. Like
yeah.
Yeah, there's
more
certain
range.
games that come out and it's like, no, dude, I would buy that day one for 40. That's not a $60
right.
game.
Or
Yeah.
some things like Skyrim, I would have paid 80 or more for that because I knew that I was going to play a shitload of that.
They also need to get more into. Well, no, I mean they won't do this. But an antidote to that is, you know, let's say Black Ops 2 comes out. A lot of people don't want the single player. They don't, but they'll pay 30 for the multi.
yeah.
Now, they're not going to do that because you're going to lose out on the sales of 60 for people who are going to buy it because to them, the multi is worth 60 to begin with.
Right.
But I think an antidote to that would be the free-to-play market because you keep money streaming in that you can afford to have, let's say, Deus Ex Human Revolution not sell as much as you anticipated. That's not going to cause your company to go under.
Free to play is going to continue to suck less year over year. That is a guarantee. When the fact that we used to look at free to play as a, you know, it was a constant laugh track playing in the background.
It was MapleStory.
And now those people who are laughing are fucking choking on it.
Right.
Like it's
First
pretty
it was
impressive.
a joke, then it was evil.
Yes.
And
now
now
it's
we're like,
just a
alright.
logical conclusion.
Yeah.
Just they found ways to make it work.
Yep.
Guys, do we have any other predictions? Does anybody else have any
The Wii
predictions
U?
left? Oh,
That's just.
What are we going to be saying about the Wii
Well,
U
I
this
think
time?
it will
Sure.
limp along. It will limp along.
Is it going to be the GameCube or is it going to be the
it's
Vita?
gonna be the.
Game.
Oh, that's not, neither of those are good.
No. I hear exactly what your question is, Brian.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the Wii, and it's certainly not going to be Nintendo of old. It'll be the GameCube.
They already know it's not the Wii.
Yeah.
Nintendo's already made that bed and slept in it. They're well aware.
I
It's not
think
gonna
it'll be the
Wii.
GameCube. I don't think it'll be the Vita.
Here, no one.
Right.
I don't think it'll be the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
It won't be the Virtual Boy.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
Nintendo in this case, as I've said
Forgot
all
this
year
already.
long, has nobody to blame but itself. If you are going to sell a new console, if you are going to go that route, if you're not going to keep sustaining the Wii like any longer than you already have, you have to make it apparent that A, it's a new console, and B,
Oh
it's
my
a new
God.
fucking console.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
No one knows what that is. Everyone thinks it's just a
it's
new
just
controller.
everybody thinks it's the tablet.
I haven't seen. We live in New York City. When's the last billboard for the Wii U you saw?
Never.
Good.
I haven't seen.
Yeah.
This is the
Glad
most
you did.
advertising heavy city in the world. I can't go. I work by Times Square.
Yeah.
I can't walk through Times Square without being offered a McChicken sandwich, condoms, a lap
You know
dance.
what? You know what?
I
Having
haven't
more
seen-
advertising. And Darksiders motherfucking 2.
Darksiders 2 had
Yeah.
a billboard in Times Square. Wii U has
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
But at the same
Dishonored
point,
had
I
billboards
disagree
everywhere.
with the idea that everyone thinks it's just a controller.
No, I don't
and-
think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's
true.
a blanket statement. I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying the
Most people
people
don't know
that
what the hell it is.
the people that would care about that console. Like,
I don't
they're-
know.
you know, if you were trying to go and get your audience that bought the Wii to at least give a shit about the Wii U, give them some kind of incentive. And you're telling me that these guys who R&D'd this fucking thing couldn't figure out a way to sell it to fucking soccer moms? Nothing.
There's no
not a
bowling.
thing. There was no
Yeah,
way you
there's
could do it.
definitely poor marketing that's happening
Oh,
here.
it's just
Yeah.
fucking.
There's no
ridiculous.
no
Well, I
debating
almost wonder if we're at a tipping point where the casual market is going to.
Yes.
For the Wii, sort of like Apple, you plugged it in, it just worked. That's it. People hooked it in and it said, "Hi,
Right.
which one's your wireless network?" That's it. What's the password? There you go. Done. Wii's working. Wii U, you plug it in, it downloads a 5.5 gigabyte patch. you think little Susie sitting there wanting to play the new Wii U bowling is gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
No, no.
Yeah.
Here's the stupidest thing. They get rid of this thing that fucking crippled the Wii, the friends code things, and Nintendo, in their infinite wisdom, finds something as dumb, if not stupider, to do, locking everything to one console, and you can never transfer it to another console ever.
However, when you sell that console, the next user gets all your games.
I didn't know.
I am not making that up. When you give away,
You can't
when you
transfer
sell
anything
your
off of it.
console, you can't transfer things off it. And
Everything
likewise,
is locked
they
away.
can't take
Wow.
things off it. So if I don't want
wow.
my Wii U anymore, and I'm like, bro, I'll give this to you for $100. You do it. Guess what? All my games I downloaded, they're all yours
Your
now.
account is
I
locked.
downloaded all the games I bought for my iPod onto my iPhone the day I got it.
Yeah. Because you can back stuff up across different devices.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing also.
Snyder, I agree. Snyder Tiger says a different name might have helped. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
or at least one that's a little different than one letter off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Off
I
a
guess.
3-letter word.
Just one last thing is was it 5 years ago when the Wii came out? Whenever it was.
The Wii came out when you and I met, Rob.
2006.
Because I remember that you and
Okay,
I
so
were
even
working
more
at
than that.
Brainstorm, and you came in. You and I had just met, and then you saw me reading a gaming magazine, and you were like, "Hey, did you hear the name of the new Nintendo console?" And I turned around, and I went, "Yeah, the Wii." And that was how you and I started
so Nintendo
talking.
does bring people together.
Well,
Yeah,
to make
see,
fun of
there
them and
you
call them
go.
morons.
And me. Anyway, is that when that came out? When that came out?
Bravo, Jason.
When that came out, when
Well
we're talking
done.
about like soccer moms and such like that.
Yes.
When that came out, like, oh, grandma wants to play some games. Let me, I'm gonna buy this thing that's very easy to set up and just put it in there. Hey, grandma, you like bowling? Here's some bowling. Grandma has an iPad now.
Yep.
Yep.
Grandma has an iPad now, and she's bought herself. Kids did not need to do this because Apple made it simple enough. She bought herself Angry Birds, and that's what she's playing. She doesn't need a fucking Wii.
Absolutely not.
I think the
very
casual
true.
market. I think Apple has moved in. I think the casual market is. They're talking about building Connect support into the next Xbox. I don't think it fucking matters. The casual market. They're going to be. I mean, the Connect sold well.
Yeah.
But I think that was more of core gamer curiosity.
Yeah.
That one actually was still the last. I think that was the last gasp.
You
of
think that was the last
Every
gasp?
co- every-
casual
yeah.
guy, like, oh, maybe I'll try this.
All
for
of the new
kids.
consoles are going to have motion involved in some way, shape, or form. That's
I think so.
guarantee. Here's the problem. I think this was a strike of lightning. I think this was a one-time thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can get people who don't give a shit about games to really give a shit about games. And I think, in particular, with the Wii U, it is so late to the game on everything that even if they thought that they could pick up, some, like really serious, like, shows of support from the people who bought Wii, like, oh my God, this is going to get me into gaming. I don't think it's going to be enough for it to make a difference, and I also think it's going to be left behind because it's a lesser system than new systems that are going to be coming on the horizon from Sony and Microsoft, and that's going to get completely lapped yet again, and it's not going to be able to carry on novelty.
And here's why that scares me.
Yeah.
The success of those casual games are what allows guys like me and you to get games like XCOM. It lets publishers take risks on things they otherwise might not.
Keep going.
When people say, "Man, I hate this casual market. I wish all these fuckers would just get out of it."
Keep going.
Oh, well, just you wait, boy.
Keep
Because you're
going.
not going to like that.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
I'm
I've
done.
got 3 letters for you.
Give it to me.
You know which ones they are.
I don't.
WTF?
There was one correct letter in there. Casual games. Who made their money off of casual games? And who is
THQ.
now?
THQ. Yep. I say
Yeah.
yeah.
Guess what? We're gonna go be a big publisher and play with the big boys, and we're not gonna make movie tie-in games anymore or any of that shit.
Well, the movie
that
tie-in
didn't work
game
out.
business dried up too.
Yeah, they really weren't making anything off of their Pixar games anyway.
Well,
And I think the biggest thing when there was
Well,
the
thank
failure,
you,
the failure of the
U-Draw.
U draw.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
the U draw
U-Draw.
just decimated.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But still, no.
What's that, Boris?
Yeah.
I said, honestly, I'm way more interested in the Oculus Rift than I am the Wii U.
Does THQ
Yeah.
exist in any way, shape, or form
Sure
in
does.
2013?
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yes.
by the end of it?
Yeah.
By the end, I think they're probably used as an arm of Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft's going to end up swooping in and grabbing a lot of those
I
properties.
would love to see some of those games picked up by Ubisoft or Square Enix.
I'll tell you this:
Square.
Metro Last Light, South Park,
Or
Stick of
Bethesda.
Truth, Company of Heroes
Or
2.
Bethesda, yeah.
Guess what? I have them all pre-ordered, so I kind of hope THQ sticks
Oh
around.
my God,
No, well,
just-
they've said those games are going to come out.
Just
so-
Metro. At least Metro. Oh my God, I want Metro.
Yeah.
So who do we think developer-wise or studio-wise or publisher-wise is going to drop, and who will be around by the end? Because I'm predicting right now, BioWare end of 2013 is going to be in deep shit.
I don't see any
Really?
I think
publishers.
around.
I think BioWare is going to be bleeding developers.
Well, they'll just
I
be
think
folded
the
in something
publishers-
else, of some other EA.
I think the publishers that are around now, I'd say the only one I consider to be possibly in any danger, maybe Calypso. and they're a small publisher, PC only. Not PC only, mostly PC. They have Tropico on the consoles, but
they make cheap games though.
They make cheap games, but they've had some really bad customer PR fiascos. But I don't think any any publishers are going to be in any danger this year. Developers. I mean, I feel like it's always the ones that you don't think about, that you're not those middle of the road guys, like the guys who made the Saboteur.
Danger Close making the Metal.
I can see Danger Close going.
Warfighter,
I see Danger Close going.
They still exist?
Okay,
they're still around.
Let's say BioShock Infinite comes out on time. What if it sucks?
Oh Jesus, you're right.
What happens to
I don't think that's
what happens to
actually
Irrational?
going to happen.
Here's the thing. Even if it does,
solo enough.
that game is pre-ordering like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That game's
Good
gonna
point.
make its
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
It's gonna make its money.
Yep, good
No, if Irrational then branched out and said like, we're gonna do instead like a 13-hour art game. Well, that could be a little more dicey. But BioShock, they got that BioShock could literally be 8.5 hours of Ken Levine farting into a microphone.
That's true.
It's selling, man.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I've been hearing of people at the company being like, "Yeah, the game's turning out really good."
Yeah, everything I've heard about it, the
Yeah.
buzz on it is just.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad I kickstarted my Kickstarter of the year, Project Eternity, because Obsidian has had a whole bunch of bad years and had a whole bunch of trouble, and they're making that South Park game, which could be awesome. But if that sucks, and still has the it could suck, and also it could be the curse of the licensed game could hit them, and it could still be if they didn't have that Kickstarter, it could be like, oh man, Obsidian fucked up again. Why are we giving all these shots? So I think could have been in deep shit, but they won't be.
All right, let me throw one other crazy wrench in this fucking thing before we close this out. Fallout 4 announced this year or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it has to
absolutely.
be. I think it has to be. I think it's time for it.
You're right.
I think Bethesda's working on it. I think they want to use that Skyrim engine for something else.
Yep.
There's no reason not to believe that Fallout 4 isn't coming.
Yeah. Oh, Fallout 4 is definitely.
And I cannot wait to see what they do with Fallout 4 with this engine. And let's do another one right now. Setting. Where do they go next?
New York.
Ooh.
Do you think it stays in the U.S.?
Fallout 4? Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it stays. It's got to stay in the U.S. because it's always. They're not
It's
going to
got
go to
that-
China, because if they go
that
to China,
cheesy
you're
Americana.
not going to sell a game about China fighting the evil Americans in the United States of America. No, it's going to stay.
2K would.
It's going to stay here. 2K
How about
doesn't
this?
give a fuck.
How about this?
It stays here. It's in New York.
It's got the settings. Texas.
I mean,
Texas. I was going to say Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
They've hit DC. The only reason I don't say Texas is that they just did Vegas, which is basically a desert wasteland for 90% of the game.
Yeah.
I don't see them going there. Maybe
Yeah,
I
New
say
York.
it's either
They
New
always go to New
York
York.
or it's L.A. They do one of those.
They made a Fallout game in Russia. It's called Metro 2033.
Metro 2033.
or Stalker.
Or Stalker.
Actually,
called
yes,
Metro.
that's much more.
Yeah.
I don't know. What happens to Stalker?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. That is.
Jason,
a
what
good
do you
question.
think?
Stalker 2 is dead. There was rumors that Bethesda was picking it up. I think that didn't happen. It still could, probably won't. I think it's gone. The people who made Stalker are making Servarium
Servarium.
or something like that. Which
So there's Strike One.
yeah, Strike One.
Yeah.
It's an MMO, first person. Yeah, I don't really have any interest in it.
Does Prey 2 come back this year?
No,
I would love to see that game.
No,
Yeah.
You'll hear
it's
about
not
it.
coming out on these consoles. I'm telling you right now.
It'll come out in
From all the
2014.
footage I've seen of that game, that is not
Yeah.
coming out on this.
Yeah, that
generation
wants to be
consoles.
next gen. That wants to be the next thing.
And I'm going to make another one when the new consoles are announced. Beyond Good and Evil 2,
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
there we go.
because that's what
Sure.
they're waiting for.
That's what they've been
That's
waiting
what
for.
they're waiting
That's
for.
what they've been
That's
waiting
Yeah, I wanted to
interesting.
say something back on that Fallout 4 location.
Yeah.
I still feel like it would be interesting to take some sort of a city that hasn't been really represented in games, like a New Orleans,
Like a
something
Seattle or
Yeah, I was actually. My first thought was Seattle, actually.
Seattle, actually.
I really
Like Pacific
yeah.
Northwest. I'm thinking. You know.
like forests and things.
Yeah,
well, no,
yeah,
forests
yeah.
are fucking nuclear fallout.
Well, Red Forests.
Yeah,
Yeah, fucked up forest.
yeah.
That was. You need to play Stalker. But
Yeah, I know.
the
Does anyone have
Red
any other
Forest, that game was
predictions?
terrifying.
I don't know.
What's his name?
Trying to think if there's anything else that's.
Do we have any games that we're really interested in?
Here's one. Does anybody think there's any chance of Portal 3, not Portal 3, Half-Life 3 being announced in any way, shape, or form this year?
I don't think you can make another Half-Life.
Here's the thing. If you start hearing rumbles that Valve is going to introduce the Source Engine 2, yes. Because make no mistake, I think the two reasons they haven't made Half-Life 3
is because the fucking Source Engine is fucking older than
the Source Engine. They can't do shit with it, and B, they don't know what the fuck to do with it.
No,
but
they
I
don't.
think
They have no fucking clue.
Once you see Source Engine 2, that make no mistake, the first game with Source Engine 2 is Half-Life 3.
Absolutely.
And I don't
think they're making Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
I don't think they can. I don't think they cannot make Half-Life 3. I think people are always going to ask.
It would be one
game.
thing if when they asked Gabe Newell about it, he said, "Well, we're considering our options. We haven't really." But when they asked him about it, he's like, "Can't really get into that."
I don't know.
There's something weird going on there.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm thinking
Probably
Source Engine 2 announced in conjunction with Half-Life.
I mean,
3.
let's not forget. Team Fortress 2 took how many years to come to fruition?
7 or 8.
Yeah, it's
Well,
been
I guess what I'm
longer
just saying
than
is
that.
Like
with-
apparently
yeah.
the Valve thing is that they work on only the projects they want to.
Yeah.
And maybe now, but I think for a long time, no one in that company, screw whether it would make them money or not, no one wanted to do it, so they weren't.
Here's the thing: I can't see Valve looking at Half-Life 3 because make no mistake, Half-Life 3 that's a 10 million seller. That's no joke. That's blow the doors off. That's midnight launch all around the fucking world. That's Diablo 3 levels of first week sales. I can't imagine them looking at that and saying, "Yeah, we don't really need any more money."
and the other problem is
they're sitting on $1 billion fucking dollars a year from Steam.
And
$4 billion.
But here's the other problem.
Or whatever.
They're all very rich people.
They don't need money.
Well, privately owned.
Well, okay, yes.
It's Gabe Newell.
Gabe is
Valve
very
Gabe
rich.
Newell.
And the other problem now is that you're talking about a time in which there's so much more competition out there.
Yeah.
There's so many games vying for in a year where you're talking about FTL
Yes.
alongside Far Cry motherfucker 3.
Yeah, no, yes.
And
Yeah.
Mass Effect
Yes.
3.
Playing field
And
is leveling out.
What the
a little
fuck?
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But having
dangerous.
said
That's
that-
dangerous for if
Yes.
Half-Life 3 isn't even
The best game of
the
all.
best game
That's why I
of
think they've,
ever.
They've tried it several times and they've thrown it out because the other thing is the first-person shooter genre has moved on and in many ways in a bad way, in a bad direction, and the people who play them are expecting things that Half-Life 3, I would hope, doesn't give them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 was a linear game, but it was not Call of Duty, and the people who play linear first-person shooter, all they expect is Call of Duty.
Right.
Well, I will.
Alex will have follow
Well,
on
that's
her
all they're
ass,
given.
and he'll
It's
just be
not necessarily
following
all
her.
Yeah, I give gamers more credit. I think if they're given something better than that, I think they'll buy. But having said that, I think back to an interview of Gabe Newell
Will it
when
have
someone asked
regenerating
him,
health?
"What's that?"
Will it have regenerating health? Will it have perks?
I don't know.
Multiplayer?
Don't know. These are all questions for when it comes out. But what I'm saying is that I think back to an interview. They asked Gabe Newell about the Source Engine 2, and they said, "Can we expect it?" And he said, "Well, we're just waiting for the right game for this." It's happening. When is it happening? I don't fucking know. But when you see the Source Engine 2, you're getting Half-Life 3.
I'm making two predictions right now. I'm saying number one, the Ouya is going to be a fucking disaster. It's going to be a fucking disaster. Watch it happen. My second prediction, when these new consoles come out, DirectX 11 is going to play a much bigger role in the games moving forward. And I mark my words, next year when we come back here and do this again next year, PC is going to be number one console again on console of the year. Mark my words.
All right.
I
think there's going to be more super excitement. I think there'll be shitloads of people who will be.
I don't think
screaming.
PC's going to lose this category for a while.
I think there'll be still a lot of people screaming their heads off about things that PC has been doing for years and going, "Oh my god, look at this brand new thing Sony's doing." I still think there's enough people out there.
Hey Rob, do you really think that PC is going to be at the top if new consoles come out next year?
Yes, because here's the thing. Right now, the only thing that's holding PC gaming back is the current generation of consoles. If consoles can pick up their game and start doing stuff at the level the PCs are doing, that's going to bring up everything else because you can still go higher than that on PC.
PCs are on top of the fucking world before the 3.
Here's the other thing also. The Ouya seems like such an innocuous console to have to be something that goes down in flames. It's like, no, it's a console that is a free to play system. Like that's it's essentially
worst case
porting the
scenario,
stuff
just
that's
kinda
already
peters out.
being made onto a TV centric console. Like the content is already made.
That's funny what Cherokee has said. Valve can release Half-Life 3 for free and not lose any money.
I
thanks
think
to
it might be
Steam.
free to play. I think
That would be that would go back to our conversation of can they make a free to play game that's story driven?
Boris, I think
Like,
back
really
to
story-driven.
back to my very first podcast with you, me, and Rob on it, and Jason, and we were talking about Beyond Good and Evil, and I think we asked you for your prediction, and you said Beyond Good and Evil 2 with the breakfast cereal.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think that caps it right there.
That's it.
I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's a big No, that's just a that's
Yeah,
terrible outcome.
Capcom's it. We're gonna have a surprise reveal. $5 after the show.
Yeah, it's embedded into the podcast, and
It's
the real
already in the show.
The real ending of the show. The real ending of the
Yes.
show is DLC. You
we
can't
were gonna
have
record
that.
this, but you won't get to hear it.
Oh God! All right. Well, here it comes, folks. I hate to do it, but it's time.
Oh.
Guys, we successfully did it. We survived another crash cast. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Again, no rehearsals, no scripts, no nonsense.
Really?
We want to thank you guys so much for being awesome as always. Yeah, this took a long goddamn time. We got a lot of people to thank. Retroids.com, Trickman, Terry, Ken, and everyone on the site. Thank you guys so much for being awesome and allowing us to be part of the podcast network. All the podcast networks on Retroids.com. You should go check them out. Thanks to everyone on Twitch TV, John Carnage, Crumps 2, all the guys at Spaz Streamers, all the mods on this channel and every channel on Spaz Streamers, and then just mods in general. You guys are fucking awesome. And all you guys hanging out in the chat. This thing does not operate without you guys. Camera turn. This thing does not work without you guys, and it's just, it's fucking awesome. You guys rock. And additionally, you know, thank you guys who listened to the Crashcast on iTunes. This will be up on iTunes this week, and we're going to be trying to do this live more often, I think, because we have this channel, and damn, it's a good goddamn time, and we want to be
Video games.
talking video games with you guys all the time, so no reason not to do it here on the cast. Last but not least, I'm going to go around the horn. Thank everybody in this room and on the Skype call, because you motherfuckers are the bedrock of this fucking cast. It does not occur without you guys. I mean, I know
We make the bed.
I'm the heart of this, you know, the mast of this ship, but you guys,
You are the shaft, but we are the balls.
yeah, pretty much.
You don't go anywhere without us.
I'm okay.
I mean, I know.
I'm not. I'm neither.
I'll just be a person.
I mean, I understand I'm prettier than all of you, but it's okay.
And Sean and Jason represent the hairy ones.
I'll take that. I will be a hairy ball.
Mr. Sean Marks, Mr. Jason Perini,
Yeah.
Mr. Brian Hurtler, gentlemen,
Awesome.
and
Good show.
on
Good show.
Good show.
Skype, I'm bro-fisting you right now, my friend. Mr. Dave
Yeah.
Borsoros, you started this ride with me in 2009. I hope we can keep this motherfucking shit going because it is a good time.
Good
Hell
show.
yeah, it is.
So, guys-
I'm happy I was able to be there in person this year.
Last but not least,
I guess,
because-
guys, one last treat for you. I just sat down. I sat down on the tip of my balls.
I want to thank again everybody for being just awesome. Oh man, he looks like he's in some pain. That's not good. Gentlemen, ladies, everybody, dogs, cats, and everybody out there. This has been another Crashcast. Once again, we will see you 365 days from today for the 2013 Crashstravaganza right back here on Twitch TV. You guys keep on rocking, world. We love you. Portal Gun loves you. We still got a couple of seconds, so I want to say thanks again, and we're just fucking drink them if you got them.
Oh, 2012. Good game for years. Wait.
It was a year.
2000, yeah. There you go. To 2013, which it is.
Guys,
Presently.
that's going to do it for us here on the Crashcast. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you back here on the official Random Cast on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch TV. Good night. Keep playing those video games. Stay safe, everybody, and peace out.